welcome back for part 2 of the TWA L-1011 historic routes. This is route number 2. We're flying LA to Boston. In part 1 we talked about the flight planning, the things that we're hopefully going to be able to do, and here in part 2 it's time to actually see if we can get this beast fired up. So sit back and we'll get started. Breaking this baby up into 3 different streams just because there's a lot that's going on here. It's a 5-hour flight, and it was a good hour of just flight planning as well. So appreciate everybody who stopped by for the first leg, and hopefully you're able to reconnect. I know it's a little bit of a hassle sometimes to split these up, but I'm not a good enough video editor to know how to do that and just like stream the whole thing and just splice it up. Like, probably is easier to do. So we're gonna do it this way, and again, hopefully those folks will come back on by and we can try to get this thing going. We do have some traffic over here. Looks like maybe Southwest that's heading out. That's cool. So I'm trying to go through my setup process, my flight planning process, my all that stuff. That it's just stuff that I've come up with. It's definitely not a by the book thing, and please don't mistake it for anything that should be done in a real world procedure. I am not a pilot, and so I just am a simmer that has fun doing all this stuff. But what I really appreciated when I first started learning how to use this aircraft, there were some videos out there that showed how to do this stuff. So I'm just trying to put more stuff out there that basically I'm passing along what I've learned from others, because there's not a ton of tutorials about the L-1011 out there, and there's CaptainSim does a nice job with their plane, but not a real great job with their documentation. So that's what this is all about. And yeah, so part 2 is about firing this bad boy up and getting on the road, getting up to top of climb anyway. So we will go ahead. Let's get we are cold and dark. We will set the parking brake, and let's see, we're not going to worry about connecting jetways, but let's get some external power going here. Ooh, something just dinged, and I don't suppose it has anything to do with, nope, LA, the LA area. So we're still ATC-less right now, but that's okay. We can adjust if we do get some air traffic control that comes online. Come over here to the engineers panel, turn the battery on. We do have external power going, so we're gonna flick this, whoops, to APU. Oh, I'm sorry, external power, and then external power on. Then we need to take our electrical, let's see, over here to B3G1. That's our normal setting for our electrical. Okay, back to the overhead panel. We need to turn the standby power on. That'll work. No smoking and seatbelt signs coming on. We're not worried about GSX, so we don't worry about catering or any of that good stuff. Alright, center console. Let's initialize the INS. Alright, so the first thing that you do again is you are gonna this is actually hold on here. The INS, first thing we need to do is we need to turn it to standby. And then we need to align it. So it's easiest for me. We can come down here and zoom in and work on it, but I kind of just like to pop up the 2D and just, you know, it doesn't matter either way. However you want to do it is fine for you. But the first thing, so if you were with us for part one, you know we use SimBrief to get all this information that we're about to put in here, and we are you know, we're entering in latitude and longitude information so that our INS knows where we are in the world. And once it knows where we are, it actually can plot very, very accurately where we need to go. It's a really interesting technology. And so if you, there's a lot on the INS type of navigation, I would encourage you, if you're a nerd like me, go check it out. But for our video, we're just going to flip back to point 0. We're going to go over to position, and we're going to put, this is where we look at SimBrief. I'm just back over here at that OPF that I created a little while ago, and I'm scrolling down to this section where I have my flight log, and it has all this information right here. This is what I'm going to be putting in to this is the information that I'm getting, by the way, if you weren't watching on part 1. So LA, it's north 33.56.5, insert, and then it's west 118.245. Okay, and I'm just going to double check that. This is the critical piece of information. You have to have this in before you go anywhere. Wait, did that just change on me? 33. Let's do that again. North 33.56.5. Oh, it adjusted to me here for some reason. Interesting. I wonder if it's because the gate is slightly different from, well, anyway, you have to have this all set up before you move an inch. If you move at all, it throws everything off. So that's the first thing that we do. We now need to align. Once we have the initial position in, we want to flip this over to align, and then we will, if we flip this over to the desired track /STS, it'll show that it's going to run some tests. Right now it's on test number 9, or sorry, it has 9 tests remaining. When this number here becomes 0, it'll be fully aligned and we'll be in good shape. Now again, I don't have any air traffic control, so I'm just entering in my route as it stands. And you know, this would be, you would definitely want to get clearance before you enter any information into this INS, just because it's pretty cumbersome to go back in and change things. But again, since we are in the position that we're in with no air traffic control, we're going to assume this is a good route, and we're going to just enter things in as we have them planned. Now, the other thing that we did in the first video is we realized that we have more than 9 waypoints, and so here's the decision that I've made. After St. Louis, we're going to fly this bad boy with just traditional radio navigation. We're gonna essentially fly, you know, just like you would a Beach Baron, where you're just tuning in VORs and radials, and that'll be a fun kind of second half of the flight, and won't it'll mean that the autopilot won't get to have all the fun. So anyway, we're going to enter in all of our waypoint information up to St. Louis, and then we're just going to understand that from St. Louis to Boston, we're flying that with just radio navigation. Again, I explained we could use the second INS to program those extra waypoints, or we could actually recycle back and use these, like position number 1, we're going to put Daggett in right now, and so that's north 3457.5. Whoops, went on the wrong side, doggone it. North 3457.7 and west 116.347. Okay, once we fly past Daggett, and we no longer need position 1 to hold this information. We actually could come back in after the fact and reprogram a position like any of the ones, Robbinsville or whatever that we have that we don't have represented right here. But again, that's more work for me than just tuning in a VOR and a radial and just flying it that way. Plus, it's not as much fun. So that's what we're going to do. First waypoint is in. That is Daggett. The second waypoint is Peach Springs. So we flip this to number 2. Again, we're pointing to waypoint here. We go north 3537.5. Insert west 113.327. Just quickly double check those 353.75. If you make a mistake here, by the way, these ones can be fixed while you're in the air. So if you kind of get going and you feel like you're a little off course, you can come back and check these, and if you've accidentally entered the wrong latitude and longitude, you can make those changes in the air. It's just the initial waypoint, the position, that you can't. Okay, and you see we're ready to navigate right now, so that means we're fully aligned and ready to go, and I'll show you that here in just a second. Tuba City, north 36073 and west 111.162. Alright, double check that. Yep, that looks good. Fourth waypoint is the Rattlesnake waypoint. We're north 36.44.9 and we're west 108.059. Double check those. Okay, that looks good. Fifth waypoint, this is Alamosa, north 37.209. Insert west 105.489. Alright, those are in. Double checked. Yes, those are good. And then we have Garden City, which is number 6. Yep, that's confirmed. 37.55.1 and west 100.435. Those look like a match. Seventh one, we're just about there. Seventh one is Butler, north 38.16.3 and west 94.29.3. Those check. Eighth waypoint, the last one we'll put in here that's along the way, is St. Louis, and St. Louis is 38.51.6 and west 90.289. Now the last waypoint should always be your arrival airport, your destination airport. So Boston Logan is north 42.21.8 and west 71.004. 42.218. Yep, 71.004. Good. And so, but again, like we talked about, in between St. Louis and Boston, we're going to fly using the VORs. So this is ready to go. Again, if we spin down to that desired track slash STS auto, you'll see that, oh, actually no. Well, it's ready, but it still has 2 tests to run. So we're gonna just chill for a second here and let those tests complete. It's basically, it's saying it's close enough that it would be ready to go if we had to, but it doesn't take long for this particular INS, and we'll just leave it right there to finish. And again, you can see that down there. I don't know if maybe that's an easier view for you. I could have done it that way, but yeah, regardless, that's what we're looking at. So hopefully those will spin down to 0 and we'll be ready to go. That's just the last 2 just kind of get you a little bit more precision and accuracy as far as where the INS is going to take you along the route. And the INS, basically, all it does is take over your heading mode for you and just flies you in the direction that you need to go. But it also takes into account wind and all that good stuff. Yep, see, we have 1 more to go, and we'll be ready to rock. Okay, let's see what else. Back to the chat real quick. Could I? Okay. Seems like you could start flying an ad along the way. Yep, you could, and I do think that they do that. From time to time. Certainly, if a flight that's this length, you have plenty of time to do that kind of stuff. So, but I always just like to put it all in there, just because I'm one guy doing the work of 3, and so the more I can have done up front, the better. It's actually kind of the opposite of the normal type of flying I like to do, the GA flying, which is very little setup ahead of time. Just get the plane going, and then all the work is kind of as you go. Tuning VORs if you want to, or trying to find visual waypoints if you're flying VFR. Looking at your approach and what runway should I have and what weather should I get. It's just kind of like it's flip-flopped. But yeah, certainly you could add those in as soon as you get. And actually, we're there, so we are ready to do this. Well, I already aligned it, so I could have waited until this finished and then flipped it over to align. No, I'm sorry. I'm ready to go to nav. Boom. So we're locked and loaded, ready to go. I could have flipped that to nav as soon as I had the green light, but it's the letting those last couple of tests finish is definitely recommended, and you'll see a difference. But we're as aligned as we can be right now. So let's keep going. We have clearance, we're assuming, is checked. Our transponder code, what would it be? Would it be 2000? What would it be? Downwind, what do you squawk if you're IFR but not cleared IFR? Is it 2000? 2200? I can't remember. Somebody will tell me along the way here. 2200, thank you. Oops. Put that in there. We are. Flip that straight up. That gets you to standby. I don't know how well you can see that, but that gets you to standby. Let's see here. Put everything in. My load manager. Okay, time to go back to SimBrief. Let's do fuel and passengers. That's this F&P. So SimBrief is telling me all the way back at the beginning that I have a block fuel in kilograms of 45,840. I'm just going to make that an even 50,000. I don't want to run out of fuel. This would be a bad thing. And then I'm just going to go passengers max. I'm not going to worry about making sure I have exactly 200 whatever, 83 or whatever it said I had. I'm just going to go passengers max. Because who wouldn't want to fly in the TWA L-1011 historic route number 2 from LA to Boston, right? Standing room only. Okay, that's entered. That can be taken care of. Thank you, SimBrief. And then VREF speed, by the way, is right about 160. I still am looking for that magic performance chart from somebody that can tell me with weight and balance that you currently have what all these V numbers are. But what I've kind of just found through experimentation is right about 160 is a pretty good V rotate. Okay, flight directors, those can come on. The altimeter, by the way, here in beautiful Los Angeles International Airport. So the surface winds are kind of favoring an easterly departure. I might have to take a quick peek at that, but it's only 6 knots. I still think they let you, they kind of encourage the westerly flow as much as possible. But my altimeter 29er. I'm going to put that in, and we'll dive into the departure a little bit more closely here. Well, let's dive into the departure. So let's head over to Sky Vector here, and let's take a look at that departure. So, oh, dog is not liking what's going on out there. So we're taking off of, yeah, we're going to be up here 251. Yeah, so we're going to actually be making a right-hand turn to Seal Beach, and so 251 is our initial departure. When we get past the Santa Monica 160 radial, we have to be below 3,000 at that point, and then we can begin that turn around direct Seal Beach. So that'll most definitely be radio navigation there. And then let's see, I need to cross Seal Beach at or above 14,000, and then I can go outbound 022 up to Seabee, and then 034 up to Daggett. Alright, so below 3,000 to Santa Monica 160, left hand turn, Seal Beach. I need to be at or above 14,000 there, and then on and up we go. Okay, I think we can do that. So we start out heading at 251. That's runway heading, and then we'll adjust from there. And I have no shame letting this autopilot take over as soon as possible, again, just because there is a ton to manage. So I don't hand fly this very far normally. Altitude, again, we need to be 3,000, below 3,000. And actually, I think what I'll do is I'm going to set that for 14,000, because I think the 3,000, everything's going to happen pretty quick right off the end of the runway there. Ooh, Downwind Sim, I think he's posting breakfast selfies. That ain't right, dude. Yeah, my dog does not approve, as you can hear upstairs. Okay, altitude set, and I don't think I can arm it yet. Nope, yes I can. Set and armed. Heading set, IAS set. Keep my speed at 220, and yeah, I'm ready to start the APU. So excuse me, I don't really need any lights. It's dawn here, but it's going to start to get lighter. I'm going to put my anti-collision and position lights on. I'm going to come back over here to the engineers panel, and let's get the APU started. So APU power on. Click the start. Kind of watch the NG on this little mini jet engine back there. There's a picture of the finest maple bacon donut in all the land. Yeah, or as they say in Canada, donut. was a great quote, man. Okay, it's running. We will put the bleed air on, shut off, sorry, bleed air shut off. And here's where I got to pay attention. So ATM, those are both going to come off. I'm going to turn the pack flow controls off. I am going to come down here. I no longer need external power. That's turned off, and that can actually go away. And this can be turned off as well. We are now running on APU power. So this can flip over to APU. And yeah, everything else I think is okay for now. Indeed. Brakes are set. Fuel off, off, off. The flaps are 0. We're ready to push. We're going to be pushing back, and boy oh boy, where the heck am I? I think I just need to, whoops, I just got signed out of Navigraph charts somehow. What in the world? Sorry guys. I am using Navigraph charts to help me figure out where I'm at in the world. And I'm going to definitely be monitoring to see if I'm staying on course. Alright, where am I at? Where am I at in this airport? Airport information. Yeah, we're right up there. We're going to be taking 24 left, so I think I just push straight back actually, and taxi probably Delta over here. Boy, I may end up taking Echo 6. Yeah, we'll just see. I'm pretty it gets up pretty fast. So straight push back. I am gonna release parking brakes. Doing just the old Shift P, not worrying about GSX. Back we go. Away from the gate. Trax 360 asked if Delta knew we were borrowing their gates. So the story behind that, Trax, is this terminal used to be the TWA terminal, and then it was after they folded, they converted it to Delta, and they put all these gates for smaller aircraft in. But yeah, so anyway, they do know I'm using. I know a guy that knows a guy that says it was okay to do that. A little hazy here, foggy. Why are the strobes on? It shouldn't be. Nope, I don't know why they're on. There, it says off right here. I don't know. Something funkily simulated, I guess. That's good enough for my push. Alright, let's reset the parking brake. And let's get the engines started. If I've done everything right so far, this should be pretty simple. I come up here, I go number 2 start. This guy starts to turn, yes indeed. I'll zoom in on this first one so you can see what I'm looking at. Looking for N3 to get to 20% or higher, which it is. Add the fuel, and you can hear, hopefully in the background you can hear the engine coming on. It is a pretty quiet for being an old school jet airplane. It is pretty quiet. Funkily, yep, that is one of those advanced terms. Yeah, and again, it's stuff that you get on this channel. I mean, I don't give you just the normal POH stuff. I dig deeper into those back chapters that most pilots are afraid to give you. Okay, so then there's number 3. Then we go to number 2. Spin, spin, spin. I'm watching for this guy to get 20 or higher. Add the fuel. Take a sip of tea. And I'm hearing it. let it get stabilized. The fun thing about flying these older aircraft is, like, comparing this engine start procedure to the DC-8, it's just night and day. I mean, they really must have listened to the pilots, and when they said there's got to be a better way to do this, because this is a pretty simple way to go. Alright, engine number 1 is coming online. Sounds of those. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Alright, let's see now. We have all 3 engines started, so we can come over here and we can shut the APU down. So we're going to push stop there. We're going to... Oh, I should have done the bleed air shut off first and then stop, but that's okay. This will spin down. Then I can put the pack flow valves back open, and the ATMs are back on. And I need to come down here and make sure my generator is on ESS. This needs to come to Gen 1. ESS, that's on B3G1. Very good, very good. I don't need any anti-ice. I don't need, I am going to arm the emergency lights though. That needs to happen. And, alright. Now it says to put the strobes on. So I will. Position lights were already armed. I'm going to come down here. The cool thing about this plane also is this. It has a, flip this to standby. It includes a functional weather map. Kitty Monster's thinking that his GPS is screaming at him. Hopefully not. Alright, that comes online, and then we're back over here to normal. So yeah, that's kind of cool, I think. And then we'll put this on 1. So it's squawking normal, and we'll go mode Charlie on our V-pilot. And boy, I think we're pretty doggone close. Let's check the flight controls. Keep your eyes on this gauge right here. Full right, center, full left, center, back, center, forward, center, right, center, left, center. Did we ever find a reason? I know Downwind Sim had asked. The flight yoke tends to just lean to one side over time, and I don't know why that is. I thought it had something to do with just normal vibration and hydraulic power that didn't go to the yoke once autopilot was engaged, but I have not yet confirmed that. We are going to go flaps 10, departure. We can turn the anti-skid on, and we can come over here. This should be cooled off. We'll turn the battery power for the APU off. All of our this will be extinguished here in just a minute. It takes a second. I don't know why. Anti-skid. Me and the anti-skid kind of go rounds. Okay, well, since I don't have any ATC, I'm going to have to go... Can I get rid of that? 2280. Make my announcement. It's a very short taxi. I didn't plan that on purpose, but we'll take it. So we're going to be taxiing runway 24 left. LA International Traffic TWA 702, taxiing 24 left. LA. I did not. I'm still seeing winds 080 at 6, but I think that's still in the acceptable limits for west departure. Okay, here we go. Just a little turn to the left. We'll jump on, probably jump on Lima. Can I get over to Lima? Well, I've got default runway taxi signs all over the place. We'll come all the way out here. May not say Lima, I guess. It's Lima on the chart. No, I'm sorry, it's Echo on the chart. My apologies. We'll come to Echo, we'll take a right-hand turn on Echo, and we'll head all the way down to the end of 24 left. We'll be ready to go. Taxiway looks clear that way and clear that way. One thing I do love about these older aircraft is the visibility. You know, this in the DC-8, man, you can see all over the place. It's really, really nice. I'm surprised at the stutters I'm getting here, considering this is a default airport, but maybe it's because of the fog. The weather will impact my frames pretty heavily here, and also this is a bigger aircraft, so that does also impact my frame. So I apologize for that. It's going to look a little choppy here, but once we get flying it should smooth out nice. Santa, please bring me an I-9. I've been a very good boy this year. Before takeoff checklist, really quickly here. Oh, I need to turn my taxi lights on. That would be helpful. I have my logo on just so I can show off to everybody that I'm in TWA, so they can see my light or my tail. Ignition strobe, all those are on. APU master power we've turned off. Runway heading is set. Initial altitude 3,000. Let's put in Santa Monica 110.8, and we need to dial in the 160 radial. Again, we're just using that as a reference here. We want to stay below 3,000 up to that point. It really has no bearing on where we're having to fly. Okay, here's our turn. Let's get lined up. We'll put the rest of that information in. I do see somebody. Okay, looks like somebody maybe did land to the east. I don't know. Hey, Bill. Good morning. Black Fox, hello. Welcome, guys. Sorry, I don't have a whole lot of eyeballs on my chat here. I'm trying to get a piece of history in the air. Takes all 26 brain cells that I still have that are not turned to mush because of middle school students. Alright, so 160, so again, as we go, when this baby comes in line, we'll know we're due, basically due south of Santa Monica. Not due south, but south of Santa Monica. We have to stay below 3,000 until that happens. And alright, I think that's it. So we are departing kind of with the wind here, but I think we're still legal. LA traffic, TWA 702, be departing runway 24 left, and we'll be making a left-hand traffic pattern, LA. Alright, somebody else is online here, cool. Final, clear, I hope. Boy, it's foggy. So somebody here is kind of online, just sort of impromptu, doing a little bit of controlling, so that's interesting. Kind of non-sanctioned VATSIM control. I wondered if there would be a little more of that would pop up here and there. Alright, 2-4. I think we're just about ready to go. Taxi lights will come off, landing lights can come on. Get as lined up as we can here. Alright, let's go flying. Rotation speed. Positive rate. Gear coming up. Okay, there comes the localizer. We are definitely below 3,000, so that is good. Bring the flaps up. Turn the autopilot on. We want to go speed, vertical speed mode. We want to climb. We want to go heading mode. Yep. Power down so we don't overspeed. We got a little bit fast there, but that's to be expected. Now we want to turn 221. We're going to track direct. We get around the horn to Seal Beach, 15.7. Tune that in. We're going to keep this turn going. Let's spin this guy around until we know where we need to be to track that. Looks like a course somewhere in that 095 range, which makes sense. We'll spin it all the way around and we'll start heading east essentially.
Los Angeles traffic southwest, Philadelphia 98, pushing map gate, L-10 Alpha, Los Angeles.
We're up heading towards 14,000. Los Angeles traffic, TWA 702. We're turning south of the airfield, climbing through 3,300. Alright, so that's coming around. Looks like maybe more like a 09 or 008. Somewhere in that range. We'll just head direct to. And then from Seal Beach, we're going to be heading out 022. So this is what I just did fast and furiously. I was able to stay below 3,000 at Santa Monica. We're coming around here. This is kind of our 09 or 0 to Seal Beach. And then we'll be out to the north from Seal Beach. And you can see why I engaged the air traffic as soon as I can, just because there's a lot that is going on here. So we're getting a vibration warning. I wonder if I'm running things a little too hot and heavy here. I'm getting alpha range though. That means I have more to give if I want. Oh, now I'm frozen just slightly. Okay, we're getting up and above the clouds. That's a good thing. And we have 20 miles to Seal Beach. So I'm going to engage the nav, let it pick up that radial. We're we're pretty close to it, but it's going to adjust slightly to the left. So this might look kind of cool outside. Nothing but a sea of white. White on white. A couple mountains poking out there. Interesting. Yeah, a few out in front of us. There's an outer marker, I believe. We'll get this thing up here to cruise, and then we'll take a peek at what's going on chat-wise. Good to have you guys along. Nice to have some company. My family is kind of headed east themselves. They're going to meet some family in a town nearby and do a little shopping, and so it's just going to be me and gosh, will there even be college football? Is Army Navy game today? It's got to be something. Okay, looks like we've settled on about 088, so that's what the heading says as well. 15 miles from Seal Beach. Again, Seal Beach returning on the outbound 022. And we need to be at 14,000 or above, so I better pick up my climb rate here just a little bit. Kind of nervous that we won't get there in 13 miles. So this thing it'll climb like a rocket ship. I mean, it just really is very powerful. A lot of fun. There's 10,000 coming up. Turn the lights off. Logo light can go to bed. Ooh, I forgot to do something. So I should have armed continuous ignition before I took off. So that's bad on my part. But that would come off now as well. Okay, 10 miles. Yeah, we're going to be well above. Probably would be cleared at this point to just go all the way up to 350. So I'm going to pretend that that's what's happened. Anybody have objection to that? Speak now. Arm that. Since we're above 250, or excuse me, since we're above 10,000, I actually need to level out just a little bit and pick the speed up. What they suggest is that you climb out at 300 knots.
Los Angeles traffic, southwest 3098, taxing your runway 24 left by Delta 8, Echo, Los Angeles.
So we'll level out just a little bit, let that airspeed climb, and it does a pretty good job. Unlike the DC-8, which you would think with 4 engines, you would be much more able to maintain your airspeed on the climb, but it's really, it kind of becomes a dogfight with the DC-8, whereas this thing it'll pretty well hold its airspeed all the way up. I end up backing off a little bit because of the warnings. I'll show you kind of what that's doing back there on the engineer's side, but okay, let's spin it up here, and we can climb at a good 2,000 feet per minute, and it doesn't bother it a whole heck of a lot. But anyway, this warning though, engine vibration, it comes from essentially this. If I'm redlining something, which it doesn't look like I am, I'm staying. There's the EPR. It's rated at 0.49er, and we're about 1.4, so we're well below the max power rating, so we should be good there. I'm not sure why I'm getting that. Let's come over here and see what the engineer's side tells us. Yeah, usually that's the one that gives us that warning, the N2, and that all looks good. Yeah, I'm not sure why we have that. Maybe that's on from somewhere early. We'll reset it. Comes on again, we'll slow down a little bit, but I think we're going to be all right. Okay, so we're are coming on here, 7 miles. Uh-oh, did we pass it? Are we counting up now? Oh, we are counting up. Okay, I need to change this. We need to be on a 022. Oops. And we need to be on that 022 for 23 miles. So I shot past it just a little bit there, guys. Sorry about that. Yep, there's that vibration warning again. Flaps are up, gears up. Well, we'll just keep monitoring here and just see what Black Fox is suggesting a bush fix, which noted. Spin our heading bug to match. It'll actually have to overcorrect a little bit because I went past. All right, let's see what in the world's going on in the chat. I can only imagine here. All right, so Bill had checked in. Bill the drug dealer 1 checked in. Good to have you along, sir. Hope you have a great Saturday, man. We're going to be flying this bad boy for approximately 5 hours today. So as soon as I get up to cruise, I'm gonna kind of end section 2 or part 2 of this stream, and then I will I'll pop back in later on this afternoon for the top of descent or around the top of descent for our arrival into Boston. Black Fox always making sure I stay on the appropriate checklist. I appreciate that. Donut finished. Yep, that's a big part of that checklist. Boy, it's really correcting me here, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I'd shot past it that far, but I guess I am 18, 19 miles. Wow. I'm going to have to start picking up my next VOR. Another donut check. That was kind of me yesterday. We had some cookies in the lounge, and basically had to drag myself away to avoid a third cookie. And then the Flintstones theme song apparently was being played here. Is it really gonna intercept me at a 90-degree angle here? Yikes. Alright, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna be more gentle in my approach. I'm gonna turn 022. I got a feeling that's gonna come back in line here pretty darn quick. But I definitely did a bad job of maintaining or flying that outbound. That was really poorly done on my part. So I'll even compromise. We'll fly north until we intercept. And if worst comes to worst, we'll just let's see, we'll just fly to Daggett. Here's what I did, guys. Instead of turning north here, I flew past, and so it was trying to bring me all the way back and like intercept me at a 90-degree angle to then catch this outbound, and that's gonna be, so that would just end up looking like this, like a little snake all the way to CB. So I got to about here, and I'm just kind of turning right. I'll see how close I get to CB. Ooh, I was supposed to be below 16,000 at CB. Uh-oh. Well, alright, so there's another thing that I did incorrectly here. Yeah, because I'm already 23,000. Whoops. Through 18, let's set the standard altimeter here. Yeah, there it comes. I'm starting to get back online here, but I'm already 25 miles away, so really, truly, I was supposed to fly this leg for 23 miles. I'm already up here somewhere. Well, I'm down here somewhere. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just tune in Daggett, get that 034, and try to intercept that inbound. So 13.2 is Daggett. And then 034 is that desired inbound. Ooh, and I don't have Daggett yet 80 miles away. Interesting. Well, here's what I may have to do, folks. I was wanting to fly this with radio navigation, but I think I may have to pop over and put this guy on, let the INS take over. So flipping this switch here, so this is where you control whether you're flying to your VOR, you're flying to a localizer, you're flying an approach, and this is something I still want to mess with, the auto land capability. But that's if it's in VOR mode. And when as soon as you flip it to FMS mode, that's when it allows your INS down here to essentially take over your heading. And now I'm going to be flying. I'm definitely not on the 034 inbound, but I'm just flying direct to Daggett. It's telling me down here. Let's see what is it telling me. Let's flip over distance. Oh, actually it's telling me from 1 to 2, so it actually is, it's skipping me ahead even. It's skipping me ahead. It's skipping over Daggett and going all the way out to Alamosa, 211 miles. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to keep Daggett tuned in here. That's my 1320. And no, I'm sorry, it's taking me from Daggett to Rattlesnake. But anyway, I'm going to keep Daggett tuned in. If that becomes active, which now it has, okay, so I'm going to come back off of, because I don't want to skip too many waypoints. I do want to fly this thing. I want to fly this thing as close as I can to the route that I so painstakingly created. Alright, that's actually fairly close right now. We're pretty doggone close, direct Daggett. I spin that to about 036. Yeah, shoot, I can live with that. 53 miles away from that. So I'm back on VOR mode. I'm gonna turn on the nav mode and we'll track that radial. Okay, I feel better about that. Still getting that engine vibration, so I think I'm gonna back off on the power just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That's just caused from overstressing the engine, so I don't want to have a failure here so close to the start of our flight. Alright, so in the chat window, after the Flintstone song was coming on here, good vibrations, yep, Beach Boys. I'm sorry I missed that. That actually was very good. Black Fox, well played. Well played. Kenny's just in chill mode. Participation ribbon is in the mail. Yep, everybody's a winner. You know what? I kind of need that, to be honest with you. And I'm, of course, being completely sarcastic because I'm an old coach and the participation thing drives me up the wall. But you know what? If I had a blue ribbon overlay, I'd put it right there in the left-hand corner for all of you guys. So that's it. Kicked Melvin Leroy out of the cockpit. Yep, Otto's kicking me out. Shoot. Al South, you should have already an automatic first class ticket. So if you're not there, just head on up. And again, just mention my name. They'll be good. Do I have 350? Yep, I have that armed. So I'm already up to close to my cruise speed here. I'm hoping about 0.79er. Yeah, we could have a staffing. This thing has, I think, a couple different levels. Places where the crew gets to sleep and all that fun stuff. But hey, we're making pretty good progress. We're to level out here. We're top of cruise. We'll take a quick peek outside and let you enjoy the sights and sounds for a little bit. There's our altitude horn. There's 350. Let's bring the power back so that we can get about that 0.79. I think that's probably pretty good. Okay, that's getting a little low. That actually is a good sound though, Black Fox. That wasn't like a red alert, and no enunciator alerts here. If we look at our, yeah, we're right at EPR, so that's good. That's well below. That's really nice. Oh heck yeah, we're in great shape. We're in great shape. Look at these guys over here. You know, well below. That's running at 90. That's awesome. I mean, come on, come on. You can't ask for anything better than that. Not sure how to turn the. I don't need all these lights on back here. I'm not sure how to turn things off, and as Downwind Sim can attest, I'm not a guy that just starts flipping buttons for no reason. I'm a by the books guy. Alright, here we go. Sights and sounds. We do have Orbix SoCal. Oh, got the moon out there. Hey, that's kind of cool. So the Orbix SoCal is helping us out here with making this scenery look a little bit nicer. I'm now completely ruined by Orbix, or excuse me, by ortho scenery, but it doesn't look half bad. Well done, CaptainSim. This is a nice plane. Now I just need the equivalent in X-plane, and I think maybe the 727 might be the one I need. Flap switch, whoosh, yeah. Some of these, maybe there could be one of those hidden in here somewhere. I don't know. That's why I always keep my seatbelt on just in case. Well, let's see. Instruments. It's like I really don't need any of this. I don't think. Not right now, anyway. All right, let's turn that stuff off. Oh yeah, I do like the control that gives you. That's pretty dang cool. This I already turned off. Are these still on bright? They are. So that'll be my next task, is to eeny meeny miny mo, which one of these turns the lights down. But I'll have plenty of time to do that. Yes, setting the mood, without a doubt, it'll be fun. But okay, we successfully planned our route. We successfully started the aircraft and are flying the route. And now all that's left to do is just enjoy the flight. I hope you guys enjoy your day. I feel like 5 hours is probably a little too long to just keep a stream rolling, but so I will be back later on today when I hit top of descent, or maybe even I'll come in at the St. Louis area ish when I start to fly this baby by hand. But anyway, give me a couple 3 hours or so, and I'll try to send you a notification. Would love to keep it rolling. Black Fox is saying, all right, well, if you're a glutton for punishment, man, I don't mind. We can do that. All right, we'll do it. We'll do it. Now, when I don't have all my honeydews done, because one of the things I was planning on doing was actually making a run to recycling during the flight. It's your fault, Black Fox. No, I'm kidding. I'd never do that, but what I'm going to do, if I'm being honest here, is I'm going to go work on scenery. So that in and of itself is probably a good enough reason to pause the stream, and I'll come back in a little bit bit later on. I mean, I appreciate it. Black Fox is flying up there in the Northwest Territory. That's cool. Yeah, so I do think we'll pause it here. This will be the end of part 2, and then, like I said, in just a little while, just a couple of hours, we'll come back on and we'll finish off. Hopefully we'll have a nice successful arrival into Boston, and yeah, it'll be a great way to end the Historic Routes number 2 for the TWA L-1011. So guys, much appreciated, and we will talk to you just in, yeah, like I say, 2 or 3 hours. See you then.